Mr. Minden came home for lunch one day, but his wife Millicent wasn't there. He asked the servants, but they had no idea where she had gone. He sat alone at the garden table, eating a small piece of meat and drinking mineral water. Mr. Minden always ate simple meals because of his stomach problems. So why did he employ a cook? It was because Millicent loved throwing fancy dinner parties for her friends, serving expensive food and wine. Mr. Minden didn't enjoy these parties. Millicent often complained that he didn't know how to have fun. She did many things that he didn't like, and she often spent his money carelessly. Yet, he never got angry with her. After lunch, Mr. Minden walked around the house. He didn't stay long in the living room because it reminded him of all the time he had spent at Millicent's parties. The formal dining room made him feel even worse. He thought about the long dinners where he had to sit and talk to Millicent's friends, who didn't seem interested in what he had to say. He walked past the ballroom, where Millicent and her friends danced late into the night. While they enjoyed themselves, Mr. Minden would go to bed, but he could still hear the orchestra playing until early morning. Finally, he went to the library. No one in the house ever read the books, but he liked having the library because it showed he was wealthy enough to have a room just for decoration. Next, he entered a small, sunny room where Millicent planned her social events. Her desk was covered with notes and invitations, and the wastepaper basket was full of empty envelopes from parties and dinners. On the floor, Mr. Minden noticed a crumpled letter. He picked it up and was about to throw it away when he saw. It was signed by his business partner, Thomas Antrim. The letter wasn't about business, though. As he read it, Mr. Minden felt dizzy. He sat heavily in a chair, staring at the room around him, which now felt strange and cold. "Who am I?" he asked aloud. "I'll tell you who I am. I'm the man who paid for everything in this room. Without me, it would all be empty." This thought gave him new confidence. He stood tall, feeling powerful. He wrote a letter to Millicent. When a servant came into the room, Mr. Minden told him to call a taxi. The taxi took him to a hotel near his bank. His room there was small and smelled like cheap soap. The street noise drifted through the open window. At 4 o'clock, Mr. Minden wondered if Millicent had returned home and read his letter. By 8 o'clock, he guessed she would be getting ready for a dinner party they had planned to attend that evening. She can go with Thomas Antrim, he thought bitterly. Feeling hungry, he went to the hotel dining room. The smell of fried food filled the air, but he couldn't eat much. Back in his room, he felt hot, dirty, and sick. For the first time, he realized how much he missed his home. A knock at the door startled him. "Minden? Are you there?" a voice called. It was Lawrence Misey. an old acquaintance known for helping couples fix their marriages. He wasn't alone. Mr. Minden's wealthy uncle, Ezra Brownrigg, and Reverend Dr. Bonifant from their church were with him. Mr. Minden felt both proud and nervous. Maisie explained that Millicent had asked him to help. She had shown him Mr. Minden's letter and begged for mercy. Maisie asked Mr. Minden what he planned to do. I plan to leave her," Mr. Minden said hesitantly. Maisie asked if he wanted a divorce, and Mr. Minden replied, "Yes." Maisie warned him that divorcing Millicent would make him look foolish. No one else knew about the situation, so revealing it would only hurt Mr. Minden himself. Feeling conflicted, Mr. Minden watched as the three men prepared to leave. Without them, he would lose his confidence and audience. "I'll come back with you," he finally said. "It's for the children." Maisie nodded and led him out of the hotel room. As the door closed, Mr. Minden felt both defeated and relieved.